Hey guys, this is part 2 of chapter 10 in the GollyWhopper Games. I am starting on page 105. What green arrows? His father pointed down. Right, said Gil, because you're looking for blinking arrows, you expect to find them sunk into the floor. Gil read the letter once more, trying to memorize it for any clues he might need later. Then, with his dad beside him, he followed the green arrows to the right, down hallways lined with framed documents, signed and stamped with gold seals. Seals as in animals. They ended at a green door. They ended at a green door, guarded by a red-headed woman dressed in jeans and a green shirt. Gil, you're here, she said, like a long-lost friend. I'm Carol. Nice to meet you both. Gil, when you're ready, go right in and wait for the rest of your team. And Mr. Goodson, stay put for a sec. We'll show you to the spectator area, a luxury section above the action. Perfect view. His dad gave Gil a firm squeeze around his shoulders. So long, he said. See ya, Gil replied. Adios. Aloha. Shalom. Gil turned toward the door, which opened by itself. Sayonara. He took a last glance over his shoulder and stepped inside. On the shining wooden floor stood a massive wooden table surrounded by 16 burgundy leather chairs. An imposing bookcase guarded the corner. It was all serious and businesslike. The rest of the room, though, was lit like a giant party. Balloons bobbed, masking every inch of the ceiling. Funhouse mirrors saluted like soldiers on either side of a second door. Giant streamers and noisemakers popped out of vases like flowers. Murals of kids, animals, cartoon characters, food, and toys splashed the walls. It took Gil a moment to realize Lavinia was already there, looking very small in one of those chairs. Her hair was gathered in a turquoise ribbon, and her intertwined fingers gripped one another on top of the table. Hi, Gil said. You look as nervous as I am. Lavinia shrugged. I keep trying to fool myself that this is like any other scholarship competition, but the gorilla rocking chair over there makes that hard to remember. So does this guy. Gil popped the bounce-back wrestler in the guts a few times. Like Mother says, if we keep our focus, we should win. Lavinia gave a sharp nod like she was trying to convince herself. Any words of wisdom from your father? He mostly reminded me to have fun. Well, that is one way to look at it, I guess. He popped the wrestler in the stomach again, and again, and again. Soon the door opened for Thorn. Not a minute later, Rocky and Bianca and the red-headed woman swept in. Hey, green team. Have a seat at the table. As I said, my name is Carol, and I'll be your teacher, your mom, your best friend, your worst enemy, your only contact for this portion of the GollyWhopper Games. You have any questions, you ask me. You need to go to the bathroom, you ask me. You need a Band-Aid, you ask me. And if you ask me, you're lucky I'm here because I can be a lot of fun until you stop following the rules. And that's when I turn into your worst nightmare. Carol raised her auburn eyebrows and flashed a mischievous grin. Then she paced once around the table, smiling and nodding. Now, don't ask for hints, she continued. I won't give them to you. Don't try to bribe me for answers. I wouldn't tell you even if I had them. What I will give you is a guarantee. This day will be one of the most memorable of your lives, win or lose, and I don't like to lose. I have this friendly wager with Bill, my counterpart on the red team. You win, and he shaves off every hair from his head. They win, and I have to shave mine. I like this curly stuff on top of my head. Don't make me lose it. Make me proud. How do you start? Carol leaned on the table for emphasis. You act like a team. You entered this competition as individuals, but that changes right now. Depend on one another's strengths. Forgive one another's weaknesses. You need that type of attitude. There's a variety of challenges today, and my guess is any one of you would be hard-pressed to complete them all by yourself. So let's talk about these challenges and procedures. Think of this as a big treasure hunt with one activity leading to the next. You'll have 5 puzzles you must solve. Each team alternates with the stunt you must perform. Carol took a seat at the head of the table. Now this may sound confusing, but I promise once you get in there, things will run as smoothly as a greased pig through buttered hands. Carol referred to this piece of paper in front of her. Okay, Carol continued, try to follow this. I will lead you to a large warehouse-type area. Inside you will receive your first puzzle. Each puzzle will have a multiple-choice answer, not the same sort of multiple choice that you know from school. No, your choices will be 3 Golly products. All 3 will be on the table. The answer to the puzzle is the name of one of those toys or games. Sound easy? It isn't. First, you need to solve the puzzle. Make sure your solution makes sense. Be sure you all agree on that solution. Then, and only then, pick up the Golly toy or game that corresponds to the answer. Open it, and you'll find the envelope marked Stunt. Inside will be the instructions on how to perform the activity. Follow the instructions exactly. When you complete the stunt, you'll receive the instructions for the next puzzle. Maybe. Huh? Huh? Said Rocky out loud. If you solve the puzzle wrong, it will make you perform the wrong stunt. How will you know you've made a mistake? The puzzle you receive at the end of the wrong stunt will be the very same puzzle you thought you already solved. Then you must go back, figure out the right answer, and perform the right stunt. And ouch! That will hurt because you're in a race for time. The team that finishes this treasure hunt with the best time goes on to the next round. But, said Rocky, won't it take more time to sit around and figure out the puzzles than guess and do the stunts? Oh, Rocky, you dear misguided child. We're smarter than that, said Carol. Every time you goof, we add 1 minute penalty to your score. So not only have you taken extra time to do more stunts, you have to deal with those precious extra seconds. But hold on, Rocky. I'll bet you're still thinking that 1 minute penalty is a small price to pay for the wrong answer, and it'll take longer than to work the puzzle. Carol shook her head. According to the rules, and we've worked very hard on them, you must make a true and logical attempt to solve each puzzle. You must work on each for at least 5 minutes before you make a random guess. We've even installed a 5-minute clock visible wherever you are. If you guess wrong, you need to talk it out at least 5 more minutes before you guess again. What if we're smart, said Bianca. What if we can figure it out in 5 seconds? Do we sit around for 5 minutes anyway? No, said Carol. Each puzzle has a logical answer, and when you find it, you'll know it's right. Our distinguished panel of judges will be able to hear everything you say, and your reasoning is solid, and you've legitimately come up with the answer in less than 5 minutes. Move forward as fast as you can. If you try to fool them, we'll know. They'll know. And they'll stop you. Don't try to take any shortcuts. Any infraction of the rules, any failure to follow directions might cost you much more than a minute. It could cost you your hair. Carol's lips crawled into a huge grin. Just kidding. Your hair's fine. Mine's still at risk. She paused and studied her paper again. That's it. Any questions? Gil wondered if she could repeat it all, maybe after she'd taken a tranquilizer. Of course you have questions. Those directions made no sense to you, but we have to make sure you've heard them. It's the law, or not, but it's our law. She smiled. It's not as complicated as it sounds, really. It's as easy as puzzle, stunt, and so on, 5 times. The whole process will start flowing once you get in there. Oh, and the other team, you'll never see them or hear them. You will, however, hear about them. They'll be in a duplicate area performing the same puzzles and stunts in the exact order. All fair square. Each time they successfully move to the next puzzle, we'll let you know, and we'll let them know about you. If you're wondering about the people who brought you here, they're as safely tucked away upstairs in a sort of stadium luxury box that encircles the entire action area. They'll be able to get up and move around and see and hear everything that's happening on both teams. When you get into the room, look up and wave, then forget about them. Also, forget about the cameras. Dozens of them are camouflaged, but each side will have 10 people running around with handheld cameras capturing everything. We have microphones planted everywhere to pick up every single whisper. At first, you may feel self-conscious, but I promise you'll be so focused on the task at hand, they'll soon fade into the sunset. Carol handed a stapled set of papers to each person. We do a lot of research at Golly, especially in the Fairview office, where Bill and I work, and we know some people absorb more by listening and some by reading. So everything I've explained is on these sheets. For the next 15 minutes, all the cameras and mics are off. Take that time to relax and get comfortable with the procedures. Please give one another a chance to read through these. Then you can schmooze all you want. I'll be right back. Carol gave a wink and left, the green door closing behind her. Gil read through the instructions twice, then looked at the clock on the wall. Carol will be back in about 7 minutes. Bianca was twirling her paper around on the table. Lavinia was still studying. Rocky was sitting on the gorilla, folding his sheets into paper footballs, and Thorn had drifted to the far wall, looking bored. If Gil was going to do anything about the cheating, it would have to be now. He moved toward Thorn. We haven't really talked, Gil said, sticking out his hand. Gil Goodson. Thorn shook it. Thorn shook it. Thorn, do it for me. For me. Is there anything I need to know about you? Asked Gil. I don't believe so. I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, is there something about your hearing we should know? Something we could help you with? Oh, Thorn pointed to his ear. You mean this? Good eyes, Gil. Thanks, it's just that I knew a girl, Gil lied, who was hearing impaired, and it helped if we got her attention first. Should we do anything like that? No, not necessary. This thing is state-of-the-art. I can hear whispers at 30 feet. Really? Battery-powered? Gil craned his neck like he was trying to see it. Thorn turned his head to oblige. Smallest battery you'll ever see. Really? Gil amped up the excitement in his voice. Can you show me? By now, Bianca and Rocky had gathered around. Lavinia was staring from the table. I don't know, Thorn said. It's delicate. Please, said Gil. I won't touch it. I only want to see. Slowly, carefully, Gil pulled his lucky penny from his pocket. Too fast, and his sweaty hands would drop it. He only had one chance to get this right. He moved the penny from his right hand to his left and plunged that hand into his pocket. The coin pinched between his fingers. Yeah, please, said Bianca. Thorn sighed, dug the piece from his ear, and displayed it in the palm of his hand.